From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Brick by brick, wall by wall,
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
apartheid has to fall.
Apartheid has to fall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall,
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
apartheid has to fall.
Apartheid has to fall.
Crime, Israel out of Palestine.
Israel out of Palestine.
Stop the crime, Israel out of Palestine.
Israel out of Palestine.
Resistance is justified when people are occupied.
People are occupied.
Resistance is justified when people are occupied.
People are occupied.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terrorist state.
Israel is a terrorist state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We will not cooperate.
We will not cooperate.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We will not cooperate.
We will not cooperate.
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter.
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter.
Gaza must have food and water.
Gaza must have drinking water.
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter.
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter.
Gaza must have food and water.
Gaza must have food and water.
When I say free, you say Palestine. We say free, we say When I say free, you say Palestine. Free!
Palestine.
Free!
Palestine.
Free!
Palestine.
Stop funding Israel's crime! Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine.
Stop funding Israel's crime! Free, free Palestine! Israel, Israel, you should crime! Okay, everybody, we're going to get started soon. Please get a drink of water, have some snacks, sweets to stay hydrated, and we're going to be starting shortly.
Testing, testing.
All right, everybody, we're just waiting for a couple more speakers to arrive. Please make sure you get a drink of water, stay hydrated, and we're going to be starting shortly.
Right now? Right now. Wait, did you say you drove? Yeah, I drove mine.
I hate
All right, everyone, the news is here, so let's give this everything we got. بالروح بالدم نفديك يا فلسطين.
بالدم نفديك يا فلسطين.
بالروح بالدم نفديك يا فلسطين.
بالروح بالدم نفديك يا فلسطين.
Free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Occupation is a crime.
Occupation is a crime.
Free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Occupation is a crime.
Occupation is a crime.
Free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
From the river to the sea,
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea,
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
There is only one solution.
There is only one solution.
Intifada revolution.
Intifada revolution.
There is only one solution.
There is only one solution.
Intifada revolution.
Intifada revolution.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terrorist state.
Israel is a terrorist state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We will not cooperate.
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 Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter.
Israel, stop the slaughter.
Gaza must have food and water.
Gaza must have food and water.
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter.
Israel, stop the slaughter.
Gaza must have food and water.
Gaza must have food and water.
Stop funding Israel's crime.
Stop funding Israel's crime.
Free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Stop funding Israel's crime.
Stop funding Israel's crime.
Free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Israel, Israel, what do you say?
Israel, Israel, what do you say?
How many kids have you killed today?
How many kids have you killed today?
Israel, what do you say?
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine. Israel, Israel, you can't hide.
Israel, Israel, you can hide!
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Israel, Israel, you can't hide.
Israel, Israel, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Israel, Israel, what do you say?
Israel, Israel, what do you say?
How many kids have you killed today?
How many kids have you killed today?
Brick by by brick, wall by wall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Apartheid has to fall.
Apartheid has to fall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Apartheid has to fall.
Apartheid has to fall.
Justice is our demand.
Justice is our demand.
No peace on stolen land.
No peace on stolen land.
Justice is our demand.
Justice is our demand.
No peace on stolen land.
No peace on stolen land.
What do we want?
What do we want?
Justice. When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now. Hey, hey, ho, ho, that occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, that occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, that occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, that occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, that occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, that occupation has got to go.
When I say free, you say Palestine. Free!
Palestine!
Free!
Palestine!
Free!
Palestine! Free! Not another nickel, not another dime. Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel's crime. No more money for Israel's crime. Not another nickel, not another dime. Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel's crime. No more money for Israel's crime. Not another nickel, not another dime. Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel's crime. No more money for Israel's crime.
Stop the crime.
Stop the crime.
Israel out of Palestine.
Israel out of Palestine.
Stop the crime.
Stop the crime.
Israel out of Palestine.
Israel out of Palestine.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We will not cooperate.
We will not cooperate.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We will not cooperate.
We will not cooperate.
Stop funding Israel's crime.
Stop funding Israel's crime.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. The occupation's got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. That occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. That occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. That occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. That occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The occupation has got to go. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry. We will never let you die. We will never let you die. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry. We will never let you die. We will never let you die. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The occupation has got to go.
Sorry.
Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Takbir! 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 Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free Palestine!
Apartheid has to fall. Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel's crime. Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel's crime. Free! Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free! Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Our first speaker today is Bright from Workers' World Party.
Thank you. You guys might have to bear with me a little bit. I don't have much of a voice left. And although, of course, the occasion, something that we're all tired of, I'm glad to see every single one of your beautiful faces today. This is important. It's important that you're all here. So when I was processing what to write, I couldn't come up with anything. I thought I didn't have anything to say, but in reality, it's that I have grown tired. So tired of the violence used by this state and its imperial vassal, the apartheid state of Israel. I'm tired of seeing our community members displaced physically from our property and physically from this world, both at home and abroad, to serve the will of a small few who seek only control and profit. These countless generations of exploitation, trauma, and suppression, the removal of one's hopes, dreams, and futures, so that a small few of men and women can worship imaginary things, such as false supporters, such as value systems that are represented by papered faces, so that companies like Lockheed Martin can sell more weapons of war, so that countries like the United States of America can spread its influence, excuse me, and extract more and more resources from faraway lands while starving the populations that those lands sit on. That those resources sit on. So that even at home, the United States can starve its own citizens, throw them from their homes, and do it with police trained by the very violent techniques used by the apartheid state of Israel, with their official brand of being field tested. Give me a second, I lost where I was. And that's their vile secret. Before such violence is imported here to our very own streets to brutalize our children and our families, they are used against our siblings in places like Gaza. They're used on areas full of schools, communities, farms, hospitals. We don't have to go far to see the kind of violence inflicted by Israel, for it is happening in our own city right here. From the very immigrant population that is made up by displaced people, to the endless gentrification driving houselessness all over our city, our home. From the tactics that these police use who helped destroy the encampment of UC townhomes, the people's townhomes. These violences that exist only for us to mourn, fight, shout out for acknowledgement, and start the cycle over and over again. But today, I for one have grown tired. I for one no longer want to repeat said cycles. Our streets have bled too much. Our people have cried too many tears. The actual earth, the surface of the ground beneath our feet is physically too hot, literally resulting from how much the environment around us has been exploited itself for profit. If we are to end this, we need to move. We need to do it not only through our passion, not only through our pain, but through our labor. We need to say no more and deny those in power our service. We need to deny those in power at every point of entry. We cannot wait for God to deny them at the gates of heaven. We must deny them on land, air, and sea. Their every business, their every delivery, we must give them no repair, no transportation. We must deny their access to us, reject their communication, give them no light, no guidance, no quenching of thirst or sustenance. We will not save them from their own trash or their pestilence. We will not accept their payment at any wage. We shall starve the ranks of their corporations and tell our peers to do such. Just as they deny our humanity autonomy and the gift of life to those in the occupied territories, we must deny their very existence. Just as they deny our communities, our villages, our homes, our housing, our healthcare, our living wages, our sustainability, our reproductive rights, our identity, our education, a healthy environment, and our very being, we shall inconvenience them and no longer stand idly by. Thank you.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! Occupation is a crime. Free Palestine. Occupation is a crime. Free Palestine. Justice is our demand. No peace on stolen land. Justice is our demand. No peace on stolen land.
Next speaker we have is Cap from Anakbayan Philly. Give it up for Cap.
Hello. Hello, my name is Ket, and I am a member of Anakbayan Philadelphia. Anakbayan is, thank you. Anakbayan is an international organization and organizes youths and students to advance national democracy in the Philippines. We are an anti-imperialist organization who work in solidarity with all oppressed people towards liberation, and we believe that there is no free Philippines without a free Palestine. We are honored to be in this space with you all today to help carry the grief surrounding the horrific actions of the Israeli government and the IDF. We know that these atrocities are only made possible with the support of the U.S. government. Imperialism plagues both of our homelands, and U.S. dollars funds the violence against our people. The same U.S. tax dollars that drop bombs on Palestinian children enabled the 30,000 extrajudicial killings under the previous President Rodrigo Duterte's war on drugs. Just as the U.S. budgets $3.3 billion a year to Israel for military assistance to displaced and murder Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, the U.S. props up the crooked Philippine National Police and armed forces of the Philippines who murder Filipino people just for defending their land or taking a stand against human rights violations. The U.S. continues to fund the killings of the people only trying to survive the countries they destroyed. And where does the Philippine National Police and Armed Forces of the Philippines get these weapons to harass and displace Filipinos and indigenous groups? They get their weapons secondhand from Israel. We are both being actively robbed of our homelands and killed by Israeli guns. The Palestinian struggle is the Filipino struggle, and we are intrinsically linked. Next month, at the United Nations General Assembly, both current presidents of the Philippines, Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., and current Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid, will be in New York City. The United Nations, an institution which claims to uphold human rights, is going to prop these people up as model world leaders. We must let them know that we see through their lies. They are not leaders of democracy or representatives of the people. We must show them that we do not welcome them, that we will not stand idly while our people are suffering, and that we will not be defeated. We invite all of you to mobilize to New York City on September 20th to reject Marcos, to reject the IDF, and to reject imperialism across the globe. Thank you. From the West Bank to Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, from the river to the sea, we know that one day we will all be free. We know our fight is just, we know our fight is righteous, and we know that the will of the people is insurmountable. Maraming salamat. Thank you all. I would like to end this with a chant. So when I say from Palestine to the Philippines, can you do me a favor and say, stop the U.S. war machine? From Palestine to the Philippines. Stop the U.S. war machine. From Palestine to the Philippines. Stop the U.S. war machine. From Palestine to the Philippines. Stop the U.S. war machine. From Palestine to the Philippines. Stop the U.S. war machine. From Palestine to the Philippines. Stop the U.S. war machine. Maraming salamat. Long live international solidarity.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terrorist state.
Israel is a terrorist state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We will not cooperate.
We will not cooperate.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We will not cooperate.
We will not cooperate.
From the river to the sea,
From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea,
From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Brick by brick, wall by wall,
Brick by brick, wall by wall,
apartheid has to fall.
Palestine has to fall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall,
Brick by brick, wall by wall,
apartheid has to fall.
Palestine has to fall.
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter.
Israel, Israel, stop this slaughter.
Gaza must have food and water.
Gaza must have food and water.
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter.
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter.
Gaza must have food and water.
Gaza must have food and water.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
Our next speaker is Mr. Jacob from CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations.
Oh, good. I am sure many of you join me in feeling very secure this afternoon, knowing that the former President of the United States is a big fan of Hitler's generals, a military that carried out hundreds of millions of deaths in World War II. The support given to the Nazi Party by the overwhelming majority of Germans made possible both Hitler's war of conquest and the final solution, the extermination of European Jewry. This acquiescence to genocide was brilliantly summarized by German theologian Martin Niemöller with these historic words. First, they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. And when they came for me, there was no one left to speak out in my defense. Watching another criminal bombing campaign against Gaza, I am left wondering, where are those good people who stand up for justice for oppressed populations, except when it comes to Palestine and those people living under Israeli occupation? One answer is that they are here in the form of such anti-occupation groups as Jewish Voice for Peace and oppositionist synagogues such as Mishkan Shalom and Tikkun Olam Havara. Never again will we let AIPAC set the agenda in this city. We will not be silent in the face of Israel's massive violation of human rights. And yet, constantly, the history of the Middle East is being skewed, is being distorted. When I was hired for the executive director position at CAIR, it was about 9.5 years ago. And the New York Times called one day and said they'd like to do a profile on me. So they came down, we went to one of the suburban mosques. I did a few words, and then the next day the article came out. And the writer of the New York Times article began the article with these words: when Jacob Bender, a Jew, came to speak before a Muslim audience, he was shaking as he walked up to the front of the room, leaving a clear impression that I was somehow afraid of these scary-looking Muslims who were out to kill all of us and push us into the sea. Yet all the reporter had to do was ask me, why am I shaking? And I told him I have a neurological condition that organizes shaking. And if you really want to see me shaking, just put me in front of a Jewish audience anytime. Then I'd really be shaking. When Gaza was still under control directly by Israel, they then withdrew, and the greenhouses were destroyed by the Palestinians. And the Israeli propaganda machine said, look at these people. We give them greenhouses and they destroy them. Yet what they did not mention was that 7% of Gaza was controlled directly by Israel's occupation. 7%. And one cannot but wonder if there had been pressure from the American Jewish community on Israel and the funding of the occupation, would things be different now? I would say yes, things would be different. Martin Luther King's friend, Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, went down to march with Dr. King in Selma. And when he got back, he said, some are guilty of direct racism and oppression. Not everyone is guilty, but all are responsible. All of us here today are responsible for the survival of the Palestinian people. This is not a judgment, but a statement of fact. We can turn history around and make a difference in today's world. Thank you very much. It's been an honor to speak to you.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Stop funding Israel's crime.
Stop funding Israel's crime.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Stop funding Israel's crime.
Stop funding Israel's crime.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
All right, guys, we're gonna start marching now. We're gonna go up that street and go around back to City Hall.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free
Palestine. Free, free Palestine.
This way, this way! Free! Free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free! Free Palestine! Free! Free Palestine! Free! Free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free! Free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine.
Free! Free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free! Free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine.
Free! Free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine.
Takbir! Takbir!
Allahu Akbar.
Takbir!
Allahu Akbar.
Free! From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free!
Palestine to the sea.
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation number 4. Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine.
Brick by brick, wall by wall,
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
apartheid has to fall.
Apartheid has to fall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall,
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
apartheid has to fall.
Apartheid has to fall.
From the river to the sea,
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Gaza, Gaza,
Gaza, don't you cry.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
Gaza, don't you cry!
Palestine will never die.
Occupation is a crime.
Occupation is a crime.
That's why you said
you with genocide. Israel, Israel, what do you say? How many kids have you killed today? Israel, Israel, what do you say? How many kids have you killed today? Ho ho! The occupation must go! Hey hey! Ho ho! The occupation must go! Hey hey! Ho ho! The occupation must go! Hey hey! Ho ho! There is only one solution. Intifada revolution. There is only one solution. Intifada revolution. Stop funding Israel's crime. Free, free Palestine. Free Palestine. Stop funding Israel's crime. Free, free Palestine. Free Palestine. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. 1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more. 5, 6, 7, 8. Israel is a terrorist state. 1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more. 5, 6, 7, 8. We will not cooperate. 5, 6, 7, 8. We will not cooperate.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more. 5, 6, 7, 8. We will not cooperate.
Keep them going. Keep them going.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine.
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 Free Palestine!
They're still catching up with us, so just slow the pace of the walking. Thank you.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine!
Free
Palestine!
Occupation is a crime.
Occupation is a crime.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine!
Occupation is a crime.
Occupation is a crime!
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine! From the river to the sea! African has the ball!
Israel out of Palestine.
Not another nickel. Not another dime. No more money for Israel's crime.
Can the people in the back with the music please turn down the music? People with the music in the car, please turn it down. Thank you. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Justice is our demand. No peace on stolen land. Justice is our demand. No peace on stolen land. Resistance is justified when people are occupied. Resistance is justified when people are occupied. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
crime.
Occupation is a crime.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Occupation is a crime.
Occupation is a crime.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
I say free Palestine. Free.
Palestine!
Free.
Palestine.
Free.
Palestine!
Hey, hey, ho, ho. The occupation's got to go.
Can I ask to slow the pace down of the walking again, please? Thank you. Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter!
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter!
Gaza must have food and water!
Gaza must have food and water!
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter!
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter!
Gaza must have food and water!
Gaza must have food and water!
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry!
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry!
Palestine will never die!
Palestine will never die!
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry!
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry!
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die!
Occupation is a crime!
Occupation is a crime!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Occupation is a crime!
Occupation is a crime!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
From the river to the sea,
From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea,
From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
Brick by brick, wall by wall,
Brick by brick, wall by wall,
apartheid has to fall!
apartheid has to fall!
Brick by brick, wall by wall,
Brick by brick, wall by wall,
apartheid has to fall!
apartheid has to fall!
Not another nickel, not another dime,
Not another nickel, not another dime!
no more money for Israel's crime!
No more money for Israel's crime!
Not another nickel, not another dime,
Not another nickel, not another dime!
no more money for Israel's crime!
No more money for Israel's crime.
This is our demand!
Not a man,
No peace on stolen land!
no peace or stolen land!
Justice is our demand!
Justice!
No peace on stolen land!
No peace or stolen land!
Stop the crime! Israel out of Palestine!
Israel out of Palestine!
Stop the crime!
Stop the crime!
Israel out of Palestine!
Israel out of Palestine!
From Palestine to the Philippines.
From Palestine to the Philippines!
Stop the U.S. war machines.
Stop the U.S. war machines!
From Palestine to the Philippines.
Stop the U.S. war machines!
بالروح بالدم نفديك يا فلسطين!
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 Free, free Palestine!
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 1, 2, 3, 4!
1, 2, 3, 4!
Occupation no more!
Occupation no more!
5, 6, 7, 8!
5, 6, 7, 8!
We will not cooperate!
We will not cooperate!
5, 6, 7, 8!
5, 6, 7, 8!
We will not cooperate!
We will not cooperate!
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter!
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter!
Gaza must have food and water!
Gaza must have food and water!
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter!
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter!
Gaza must have food and water!
Gaza must have food and water!
Occupation is a crime!
Occupation is a crime!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Occupation is a crime!
Occupation is a crime.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free
Israel, Israel, what do you say? How many kids have you killed today? Gaza, don't you cry? Palestine will never die. Gaza, don't you cry? Palestine will never die. Free Palestine.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Become Barah! 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 Gaza! Become Barah! Become Barah! نفديك يا غزة! become Barah! نفديك يا غزة! الله أكبر! الله أكبر! الله أكبر! الله أكبر!
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. من المية للمية فلسطين عربية. من المية للمية فلسطين عربية. The chant that we just said, من المية للمية, means from the river to the sea, Palestine عربية. Palestine will be free. Free Palestine! Justice is our demand. No peace on stolen land. Justice is our demand. No peace on stolen land. 1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more.
Occupation no more!
5, 6, 7, 8. Israel is a terrorist state.
Israel is a terrorist state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We will not cooperate.
We will not cooperate.
Israel, stop the slaughter.
Stop the slaughter!
Let's not food and water.
Let's have food and water!
Israel, stop the slaughter.
Stop the slaughter!
Let's have food and water.
Let's have food and water!
Not another nickel, not another dime.
Not another nickel, not another dime!
No more money for Israel.
money for Israel. No more money for Israel. No more money for Israel.
No more money for Israel.
No more money for Israel.
No more money for Israel.
No more money for Israel.
Takbir! Takbir! Takbir!
We're going to end over there on the other side on the street, okay? Stay on the street. No peace. Occupation is a crime. Free Palestine. Occupation is a crime. Free Palestine. Israel, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. Israel, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. There is only one solution. It's the revolution. There is only one solution. It's the revolution. Stop the crime. Israel out of Palestine. Stop the crime. Israel out of Palestine. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more. Occupation no more. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. We will not cooperate. We will not cooperate. Israel, stop the slaughter. Israel, stop the slaughter. Let's have food and water. Let's have food and water. Israel, stop the slaughter. Israel, stop the slaughter. Let's have food and water. Stop fighting Israel's crime. Palestine. Free Palestine. Terror, بالدم نفديك يا فلسطين. terror, بالدم نفديك يا فلسطين. terror, بالدم نفديك يا فلسطين. terror, بالدم نفديك يا غزة. terror, بالدم نفديك يا غزة. terror, بالدم نفديك يا غزة. الله أكبر. Together now. الله أكبر. Everybody together now. When I say free, you say Palestine. Free! Palestine! Free! Palestine! Free! Palestine! Hey, hey, ho-ho. The occupation's got to go. 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 What do you want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. Resistance is justified. When people are occupied. Resistance is justified. When people are occupied. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine.
Israel, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. We charge you with genocide.
Israel, stop the slaughter! Right here, where we are right now.
On the street, occupy the street.
Occupation no more.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We will not cooperate.
We will not cooperate.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
No more money for Israel's crime.
No more money for Israel's crime. Stop the crime. Israel out of Palestine. Stop the crime. Israel out of Palestine. Free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Occupation is a crime.
Occupation is a crime.
Free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Occupation is a crime.
Occupation is a crime.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Justice is our demand.
Justice is our demand.
No peace on stolen land.
No peace on stolen land.
Justice is our demand.
Justice is our demand.
No peace on stolen land.
No peace on stolen land.
Resistance is justified.
Resistance is justified.
And people are occupied.
And people are occupied.
Resistance is justified.
Resistance is justified.
When people are occupied.
People are occupied.
Free Palestine. 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 Don't do it. Do not do it. I will break that fucking window and beat the fuck out of you. Don't you dare. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Gaza.
Free Gaza.
Free Gaza.
Free Gaza.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
بالدم بالروح نفديك يا فلسطين. بالدم بالروح نفديك يا Get out of this, let them go to hell for like this. That's all you, brother. That's all you, brother. We're going to let one spirit go. Jesus Christ is my Lord. Jesus Christ is my Lord. You can stand wherever you want to stand.
Your home will be judged.
Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine.
that I do is focus on my body and the knowledge that it holds, and I feel like this is the perfect time to talk about that. I often struggle to verbalize the very physical pain I feel when I see these attacks on Gaza over and over again. The way my chest tightens every time I hear the name of a new child martyr. The way I get physically nauseous knowing that my cousins in Gaza can't get clean water, much less medical necessities. The heat I feel in my face when I hear the word conflict as opposed to the words genocide, ethnic cleansing, and occupation. Not to mention the ongoing guilt I feel as a Palestinian that I am not there. That I am for the most part physically safe and fed when my family members don't have that luxury. I was talking with my Baba about speaking here today, and he said that I might be one of the few Palestinians here at this event who has actually been to Gaza. This made my jaw drop as I had no recollection of that trip. He told me that we went when I was only a few months old, and my grandmother, who is a Mseso, which is one of the largest families in Gaza, was living in Jordan at the time and couldn't come with us. She asked my father to bring her back some sand from the beach and pictures. People from Gaza have a really strong and now complicated relationship with the shore of the Mediterranean. For those of you guys who don't know, people from Gaza have been fishermen and we've been traders for the longest time, and now that is a barrier. The ocean to us is another barrier. My grandmother remembered the beach as a resting place where she used to go on day trips when she was younger. My Baba told me that when we went to Gaza, he couldn't bring himself to take any pictures for her because he knew this wasn't the beach she had in her memory. Refugee tents were encroaching on the now very sparse beach. Trash, sheet metal, and cement blocks were scattered on the remaining sand. The biggest prison in the world is now overflowing onto the shore. He brought her back a jar of sand and a small temple tree, which grow all along the Mediterranean. When she asked him about the pictures, he lied and he said that he didn't get a chance to take the pictures because he couldn't bring himself to show my teta from Gaza what her hometown looks like right now. Knowing this story assures me even more that Gaza lives inside my body. Both the Gaza my grandmother remembers and the Gaza as it is now. My childhood best friend Tariq Shawa told Al Jazeera yesterday, Israel is using Gazans as sacrificial pawns in their ongoing struggle for power and are acting with impunity because they know nobody can or will hold them accountable. Are we going to hold them accountable? Yes! I am so tired of Palestinian lives being thrown away, and I don't know about you, but I'm ready to keep fighting and holding Israel accountable. We need them to hear loud and clear that our lives are not disposable.
Our life doesn't matter.
The lives of Jamil Najm ad-Din Najm, Ala Abdullah Riyad Qaddoum, Momin al-Rannab, Haneen Abu Qaida, Hazem Salim, Ahmed al-Nairab, Jamil Ilhab Najm, Muhammad Yasser Nimr al-Nabhin, Dalia Yasser Nimr al-Nabhin, Muhammad Hasuna, Hamid Haidar Najm, Nazmi Faiz Abu Karsh, Ahmed Walid Al-Faram, Muhammad Salah Najm, and Khalil Abu Hamada. These lives are not disposable. These are all children whose lives are not disposable. We need to end the blockade on Gaza and support the Palestinian resistance in any way that we can. We need to be boycotting Israeli companies. We need to be taking action. This is a settler colonialist project, and we need to shut it down, finally. Thank you guys so much.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! All right, the next speaker we have is Indigo from Philly Palestine Coalition. Give it up for Indigo!
Hello everybody, my name is Indigo. As they said, I'm a part of the Philadelphia Palestinian Coalition. a recently formed coalition space that basically looks to integrate different organizations, organizing around displacement and organizing around basically bringing attention towards the ongoing ethnic cleansing that's happening in Israel and Palestine. So a lot of the work that we do is just connecting folks. We're currently trying to draft up a calendar of events, and we want to work deeply towards engaging the community in work that aligns with this cause. But aside from that, we're all here again because we once again are watching Palestinians in Gaza attempt to rebuild after another Israeli bombing campaign of 2 million Palestinians that it holds captive in the besieged Gaza Strip. Zionists are again fast at work to rewrite another provocation of war and ethnic cleansing, and U.S. leadership is once again decrying that Israel has a right to defend itself, which we all know is coded language for Palestinians do not have a right to live. The U.S. gives Israel hundreds of millions of dollars in humanitarian aid alone, which enables Israel to commit these atrocities, these war crimes on the people of Gaza, as it has for the last 15 years. As Israel enacts violent, racist, settler colonial law and dehumanizes and disenfranchises Palestinians throughout Palestine and in the diaspora, and traps millions of Palestinian refugees in an open-air prison, the United States Police, ICE, Border Patrol, and FBI exchange weapons, intelligence, and tactics of warfare with IDF soldiers, police, and border agents in Israel, all of which is then weaponized against Black and Indigenous people from the West Bank to West Philly. This is why we cry, people power from the West Bank to West Philly. If this is nothing new, U.S. federal and local police have long built partnerships and swapped intelligence and information with militaries and police forces that abuse human rights all around the world. These deadly exchange programs, as they are known, solidify partnerships between the U.S. and other governments, particularly Israel, and facilitate the exchange of methods and equipment for state violence and the control of mass surveillance, racial profiling, and the suppression of protests and dissent. These same deadly tactics of state control have long been a part of police training right here in Philadelphia and have resulted in the death and displacement of countless Black and brown individuals in this city, just as it has in occupied Palestine and in the occupied Palestinian territories. In these very buildings all surrounding us, Philadelphia police received training provided to them by Philadelphia Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw, who went to Israel and trained with the IDF in 2018 for the duration of the month of July. The previous 4 Philadelphia police commissioners underwent counterterrorism in Israel, and the Philadelphia Justice Department has long maintained an intimate connection with the Anti-Defamation League, a racist, anti-Palestinian institution which fronts as a civil rights organization and targets local Palestinian activists. Violence and terror against one or some communities will create security for others. This is the universal falsehood which we see touted by Israel, which we see touted by the Philadelphia Police Department. This is the same falsehood in which we as abolitionists seek to expose. We know that deep beneath the millions of dollars that the U.S. empire supplies the Zionist state lies the international politics of who deserves to live and who deserves to die. Israel's use and privilege of absolute impunity for its crimes against Palestinians dictates all aspects of Palestinian life and death. And this is why we call each other to action. We call each other to challenge normalizations between Israel and Arab governments, between Israel and Muslim communities. We challenge each other to uplift Black and Palestinian organizers, indigenous organizers worldwide in their struggle for land back and in their struggle against police brutality and mass surveillance and incarceration. We challenge each other to uplift students and workers and Palestinian political prisoners and to speak openly about the occupation. not to accept the denial of ethnic cleansing, not in your workplace, not in your classrooms, not in your families, and not in your places of worship. And lastly, we challenge each other and ask each other to organize, because none of us can fight this alone. We all must realize that our collective liberation is bound towards one another. Thank you, everybody, for having me, and everyone have a blessed day.
Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel's crimes. Free, free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free Palestine. Okay, guys, we're gonna start going this way and make a circle right in the intersection there. Okay? Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel's crimes.
No more money for Israel's crimes.
Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel's crimes.
No more money for Israel's crimes.
Resistance is justified. When people. Resistance is justified. When people are occupied. Resistance is justified. When people are occupied. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry. Palestine will never die. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry. Palestine will never die.
بالدم بالروح نفديك يا فلسطين. 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 بالدم بالروح نفديك يا غزة. بالدم
Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free! Free Palestine!
Guys, make your way over here! Over here! Everyone, over here! Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free Palestine!
Free! Free! Free Palestine!
1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We will not cooperate.
We will not cooperate.
Alright, everyone form a circle right here, please.
Form a tight-knit circle, please. Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter.
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter.
Gaza must have food and water.
Israel, must have food and water.
Israel, Israel, stop the slaughter.
Israel, stop the slaughter.
Gaza must have food and water.
Gaza must have food and water.
Stop funding Israel's crime.
Stop funding Israel's crime.
Free, free Palestine.
Free! Free Palestine!
Stop funding Israel's crime.
Stop funding Israel's crime.
Free, free Palestine.
Free! Free Palestine!
Israel, Israel, you can't hide.
Israel, Israel, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Israel, Israel, you can't hide.
Israel, Israel, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation's got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho.
When I say free, you say Palestine. Free!
Palestine!
Free!
Palestine!
Free!
Palestine!
Is that the loudest you've got? Free!
Palestine!
Occupation is a crime.
Occupation is a crime.
Free, free Palestine.
Free! Free Palestine!
Occupation is a crime.
Occupation is a crime.
Free, free Palestine.
Free! Free Palestine!
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Apartheid has to fall.
Apartheid has to fall!
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall!
Apartheid has to fall.
Apartheid has to fall!
There free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea,
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Justice is our demand.
Justice is our demand.
No peace on stolen land.
No peace on stolen land.
Justice is our demand.
Justice is our demand.
No peace on stolen land.
No peace on stolen land.
Stop the crime.
Stop the crime.
Israel out of Palestine.
Israel out of Palestine.
Stop the crime.
Stop the crime.
Israel out of Palestine.
Israel out of Palestine.
Resistance is justified
Resistance is justified.
when people are occupied.
People are occupied.
Resistance is justified
Resistance is justified.
when people are occupied.
People are occupied.
Free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Together now, very loud, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From Philly to Mexico. From Philly to Mexico. All the walls have got to go. All the walls have got to go. From Palestine to Mexico. From Palestine to Mexico. All the walls have got to go. All the walls have got to go. From Palestine to the Philippines. From Palestine to the Philippines. And the U.S. war machines. And the U.S. war machines. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
The occupation has to go.
Hey, hey. Oh, the occupation must go.
Hey, hey. Oh, the occupation has got to go.
Hey, hey. Oh, the occupation must go.
Hey, hey. Oh, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, the occupation has got to go. Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. The Yehudi must go. Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Gaza.
Free Gaza.
Free Gaza.
Free Gaza.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Israel, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. We charge you with genocide. Israel, you can't hide. Israel, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel's crimes. No more money for Israel's crimes. Not another nickel, not another dime. Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel's crimes. No more money for Israel's crimes. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Occupation is a
Occupation is a crime.
free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Occupation is a crime.
Occupation is a crime.
Free Palestine.
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 Thank you everyone that came out tonight. Free Palestine! We will, Palestine will see freedom one day. Inshallah. So before we go, I have one more chant I want everyone to do. Everyone repeat after me. Say I. I believe. I believe. I believe that. I believe that. I believe that we will. I believe that we will. I believe that we will win. 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 I believe that we will win.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
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 بالدم بالروح نفديك يا فلسطين.
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 بالدم بالروح نفديك يا غزة.
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 الله أكبر.
الله أكبر.
الله أكبر.
الله أكبر.
الله أكبر.
الله أكبر.
Thank you guys. Thank you for coming.